Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Chris YouTube channel. Today I want to answer a question: does Bitcoin have any use case? You can often hear people saying Bitcoin is just speculation, Bitcoin has no real use, and Bitcoin is just digital air. Let's set the record straight, once and for all. This is a single video you can send to anyone who believes Bitcoin has no use case. Let's start with one, the least known but most powerful use case. Bitcoin lets us turn stranded or wasted energy into money. Take for example a natural gas well into a remote area. It's too far from infrastructure to build a pipeline, so the gas is usually flared, burned off and wasted. Or think of solar, wind, hydro or geothermal energy that's generated in excess. Maybe the local grid can't absorb it, or it's produced when demand is low. With Bitcoin you can bring a mining rig right into the energy source, and instead of wasting it, you mine Bitcoin, a liquid global asset, and either save it or sell it. This transforms otherwise worthless energy into economic value. Bitcoin is also a climate-friendly tool, and here is where it gets even more interesting. Methane is one of the most harmful greenhouse gases, much worse than CO2. It leaks from landfills, farms, and wastewater treatment plants around the world. But when you capture methane and burn it to create electricity, you actually reduce its climate impact. Now, what if you could make the same process to create electricity and reduce that climate impact with Bitcoin? Bitcoin mining makes it worthwhile. Miners are now being deployed to landfills and farms to incentivize the conversion of harmful methane into usable electricity, and that electricity powers miners, which secures the Bitcoin network, and the miner earns Bitcoin in return. This isn't theoretical, it's happening right now in North America, Latin America and beyond. And to be clear, you cannot do this with Ethereum, Cardano, Solana or XRP. Bitcoin has proof-of-work mechanism which connects him directly to the physical energy world. Here is another mind-blowing use case. Bitcoin lets you store your savings in your memory in just 12 words. These words, known as seed phrase, allow you to recover your funds from anywhere in the world. You could flee a war zone, cross a border with no luggage and still recover your entire network on the other side. No banks, no customs, no physical risk. It sounds unbelievable until you realize that it's already happening. When Russia invaded Ukraine, refugees fled with Bitcoin. Some carried it on USB drives, others potentially just memorized their seed phrase. They crossed into Poland, Germany, Romania and re-accessed their money from scratch. You can't do that with gold, you can't do that with your bank account, and you can't do that with cash. Also, money sent home from migrant workers are a lifeline for many developing countries. But companies like Western Union charge ridiculous fees, offer poor exchange rates, and they are slow. Worse yet, in some parts of Latin America, people are robbed as soon as they walk out on the Western Union office. Bitcoin fixes it. It allows anyone working abroad to send money home instantly at a fraction of a cost and without needing to deal with banks or risky cash pickup points. Families can receive funds in minutes safely and directly using just a phone. So, is Bitcoin just a speculation? No, Bitcoin is a tool. A tool for turning wasted energy into value, a tool for incentivized climate solution, a tool for protecting saving across borders, and a tool for helping families escape poverty traps set by remittance fees and corrupt systems. Before we continue talking about Bitcoin's use cases, I want to tell you about a new opportunity on Binance. Binance just introduced its launchable project WalletConnect, an open source protocol that securely connects users to decentralized apps across chains and platforms. While some of us already use WalletConnect daily to interact with the apps, this is the first time the protocol is launching its native token. This matters because WalletConnect is already widely integrated into major wallets and apps. It's part of everyday infrastructure and Web3. WCT aims to decentralize the governance and utility of the protocol itself. This is the first time users can gain exposure to the token before public trading. In order to participate from April 11 to April 14th, users can stake BNB, FDUSD or USDC in Binance Launchpool to farm WCT tokens. No prior purchase of WCT is required. Launchpool reward is 40 million WCT, which is 4% of total supply. Initial circulating supply is 18.62% and network is optimism. Most rewards go to the BNB pool, 85%, so holding BNB could be especially beneficial. Trading goes live on Binance on April 15th, and WalletConnect is essentially already a standard in Web3 experience, but now users can have a direct stake in its growth. This could be one of those rare moments where an already adopted tool finally gets tokenized. Always do your own research. WCT will launch on Binance first, so be aware of any pre-listings offers elsewhere. Also note, participation may not be available in certain countries due to regulations. Another use case for Bitcoin is a lifeline for people living under broken monetary systems. Think about countries like Lebanon, Turkey, Zimbabwe, and Venezuela, where local currencies have lost 50, 90, or even 99% of their value in just a few years. In places like this, Bitcoin isn't speculation, it's survival. When a country's currency collapses, bank accounts get wiped out, pensions, salaries, savings, all gone. But those who converted some of their money into Bitcoin were able to preserve their purchasing power. Here is Bitcoin priced in Turkish lira and the Lebanese pounds. Even as local currencies crashed, Bitcoin protected wealth in ways the banks couldn't. And here's the thing, even in stable countries like the United States or European Union, inflation is eating away at its people's savings. Over the last 4 years, the dollar has lost around 20% of its purchasing power, even more for food, housing, and healthcare. And speaking of Bitcoin, just zoom out, and it has more than kept pace with inflation over the last decade. It's also saving for retirements, not just survival that matters, because saving money isn't just about surviving hyperinflation. It's about buying back your time. Bitcoin offers an escape route from the rat race where you're working 2 jobs just to cover rent and groceries with nothing left over. If your savings melt year after year in fiat, you can't build a future. But with Bitcoin, you're saving in assets designed to hold and even grow its value over time. So retirement, stability, freedom, and that's not speculation, that's use case in my opinion. Bitcoin is also a vital tool for human rights activists operating under authoritarian regimes. When governments freeze bank accounts, shut down payment apps, or block donations, activists turn to Bitcoin, because they have no other choice. Take the case of Koko and Luda Kozlovska, 2 activists who realized on Bitcoin to find their work after being cut off traditional finance. Their story, and others like it, have been documented by Alex Goldstein from the Human Rights Foundation. With Bitcoin, activists can raise funds and distribute them globally without asking permission from a bank, a bureaucrat, or a politician. This isn't about buying coffee, it's about freedom, censorship resistance, and human dignity. Bitcoin allows you to send money to anyone in the world, no matter their status, location, or politics. If someone is unbanked or has been debanked for political reasons, all they need is a phone and Bitcoin wallet. In fact, they don't even need the internet to get started. They could use a dice to generate a wallet. You can send them money 24/7, 365, no middleman, no holidays, no delays. Middle of the night, no problem. Crisis situation. Bitcoin works when banks don't. There are millions of people around the world who don't have a bank account, either because they can't or because the system excludes them. Bitcoin gives them financial access. Want to buy something online, but you're not allowed to have a credit card. Maybe you want to buy a medicine that's banned in your country, or maybe you want to donate to a cause that your government disapproves. Bitcoin can be used for those things. Yes, it can be used for bad things too, but so can cash, and far more often. Bitcoin is neutral money. It doesn't judge you, who you are, and where you live. It simply works. Here's one you might not expect. Bitcoin mining can actually fund conservation efforts in remote locations. Some environmental organizations are now using stranded renewable energy like small hydro or solar setups to mine Bitcoin and fund their preservation work. In areas where it's hard to raise money or attract tourists, this can be a big game changer. Instead of just leaving energy potential untapped, they can turn it into capital to protect forest, wildlife, and endangered land. Again, this isn't just theoretical. It's already being tested and deployed by forward-thinking conversations around the world. There is an incredible example of this happening right now in Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. In one of the most biodiverse regions of Earth, home to endangered mountain gorillas, Bitcoin mining is helping to fund conservation efforts, create local jobs, and incentivize clean energy infrastructure. This isn't just about saving animals, it's about giving people an alternative to deforestation, to poaching, and to poverty. It's about turning electricity into opportunity and using Bitcoin mining as a bridge between nature and finance. Take another real-world case. A village called Bondo in Malawi near the border with Mozambique. No roads, nor electricity, no banks, until recently. Thanks to small micro hydropower project, 3 turbines were installed in the foothills of Mountain Lichenia, tapping into a region abundant rainfall. Electricity finally arrived, and everything changed. Children now can study after dark, medicine and food stored are in fridges, people no longer need to walk 20 kilometers to reach a hospital, and small businesses are beginning to grow. So what does Bitcoin have to do with this? The energy from those turbines often exceeds local demands, and the unused electricity means lots potential. Enter Bitcoin mining, the perfect buyer of excess energy. Thanks to a company called Gridless, founded by Jack Dorsey, these villages can now monetize every extra watt, supporting the maintenance and expansion of the grid. Bitcoin mining acts as an anchor tenant. It consumes energy when demand is low and steps aside when villages need it more. This stabilizes the entire system, making electrification financially sustainable. This is actually the opposite of what people think Bitcoin is. They hear mining and imagine waste. But in places like Congo or Malawi, Bitcoin mining is powering life-changing infrastructure. It's turning stranded energy into jobs, education, healthcare, and conservation. Bitcoin doesn't just serve the internet elite in San Francisco, it serves everyone with a smartphone all over the world. It's ethical money, open money, and permissionless money. You don't need a bank account, you don't need an ID, and you don't need anyone's permission. You just need access and a reason to believe in something better. So next time someone says Bitcoin has no use case, maybe they just haven't paid attention. Because for every person on this planet, nearly 8 billion of us, there is a different reason to use Bitcoin. It can be used to escape inflation, to save the future, to protect freedom, to build energy infrastructure, and to connect unbanked. If you found this video useful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications in order not to miss on future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.